With the devastating impacts from both natural and man-made hazards in the Caribbean's recent history, the vulnerability of the region has brought increased focus on the importance of awareness and preparedness of specific groups of individuals at greater risk. One such vulnerable group is persons with disabilities, who are oftentimes challenged by the lack of information and untargeted communication. The National Emergency Management Organization St. Lucia, NEMO, with the support of CDIMA and donor partner, the General Directorate of Civil Protection and Humanitarian Aid of the European Union, ECHO, is seeking to ensure that vulnerable groups have the necessary access to information to ensure their preparedness to act in response to a hazard threat.
The work of the Caribbean Disaster Emergency Management Agency is about people and the safety of people. As we had discussions with our project partners on the whole area of early warning systems, one of the gaps that emerged in the discussions with St. Lucia was the need to pay more attention to early warning, and particularly early warning with vulnerable groups. And in the case of St. Lucia, we zeroed in on persons who were differently abled, because this was identified as one of the critical gap areas in the programming at the national level.
Around 15% of the world's population is living with some kind of disability today. The definition of the UN Convention on Rights of Persons with Disabilities focuses on the individual's capacity to interact with their environment, which is why UNDP promotes adapting the surrounding environment so that it's more accessible and inclusive, while protecting and ensuring the full and equal enjoyment of all human rights.
We started off with a training for media personnel, so we looked at reporting in disasters, and that was quite well received by the media personnel. The disability awareness training, and we did that with the first responders, the fire, police, and the medical personnel. That training was also done for the district disaster committees.
I believe that was a very good initiative because we were given the opportunity to learn to communicate with the differently able.
The training that we received was indeed amazing, because to be able to sign to the deaf community is one of the communication barriers that we usually have in the health environment. So getting to know how to ask them if they have pain or where it is hurting was one that was amazing to me, and for them to embrace me in such a way and even embrace the health community in accepting them and involving them in healthcare.
I think we are on the right track with NEMO. It has helped this organization. I am indebted to it. National Council of Persons with Disabilities is very happy and glad and contented that we have had the opportunity to liaise and to interact with such an organization.
We had the training for persons with disabilities, and we had that in Soufrière, Vieux Fort, and Castries. We did it also with the Vieux Fort community, and that was a program that was well received by that community, very well attended.
The training was very successful for me. So as I am a disability person, I know where somebody can help you. If you can call a neighbor, I learn a lot.
We have shelter managers who are not just members of our committee but also principals of schools, and they to interact with those persons. This training session is one of many which has been initiated by the Beaufort South District Disaster Committee. It is deemed the shelter management with a focus on persons with disabilities, and the two areas are persons who are hearing impaired as well as persons who are vision impaired.
The project's success would be determined by the inclusion and acceptance of a wide range of emergency service providers.
The St. Lucia Blind Welfare Association participated by way of presenting on how dealing with persons with disabilities in disasters, transcribing of the Braille material We are also working with the Foreign Ministry to implement or ratify the Treaty of Marrakesh, which provides for persons with disability or print disabled people to have access to material.
Thankful and appreciative for the training done by NEMO. The training focused on communicating with the deaf, the visually challenged. I'm sure that is going to help a lot in the way we interact and treat patients with special needs.
Right now, since I do the training, I am better able to communicate with them. We have a rapport, a better rapport, and you should be there to see the light on their face, seeing that it's like finally I get somebody around here to understand what I'm saying.
St. Lucia is a good example that shows how these concepts can be applied in practical ways. Indeed, St. Lucia now has a stronger national early warning system, more inclusive and resilient thanks to the PECO project and SEDIMA's work in leading the process with NEMO and the community of people with disabilities, their caretakers, and first responders.
St. Lucia is one of the 18 participating states of the Caribbean Disaster Emergency Management Agency, and as such, we provide technical advisory services to the National Emergency Management Organization during times of non-emergency, and during times of emergency, we support them on request through response support under the Regional Response Mechanism. Under this particular project, the focus of our interventions in St. Lucia have been around strengthening the governance arrangements related to early warning systems. And specifically, we work with the government of St. Lucia in addressing a national priority need, which was related to the development of their national early warning systems policy.
We partnered with SEDIMA under this project, and with a focus on persons with disabilities, where they learned how to deal with persons in emergencies, especially persons with disabilities. And the ministry is very, very grateful for the opportunity where we were able to get this opportunity to benefit from this funding.
We are hoping that they would be included, and the messages that go out there would also include them.
As climate change issues become more prevalent, and as our region faces ever-increasing challenges from the global environment, the National Emergency Management Organization St. Lucia, NEMO, with the support of SEDIMA, continue to focus on increasing awareness and preparedness of the most vulnerable in the population. Special thanks are extended to the General Directorate of Civil Protection and Humanitarian Aid of the European Union, ECHO, and implementing partners of the project, United Nations Development Programme, UNDP, the Caribbean Disaster Emergency Management Agency, SEDIMA, United Nations Office for the Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs, UN-OCHA, and the International Federation of Red Cross and the Red Crescent, IFRC.